Okay, very good. I assume we are live.
We are now live.
Okay, thanks. Okay, very good. We will, I'd like to begin the Planning Committee meeting of Akron City Council, and I'll request a roll call. Sarah, can you please roll call the committee members?
Sure. Fusco.
Aye.
Kamer.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Baylor.
Aye.
Mosley.
Aye.
All committee members are present.
Thank you. We do have two items that are actually up for a public hearing today. So what I'll ask is that, what I'll do first is let everyone know the rules of the road in terms of public hearings. And what we will do is we will receive a report from the planning department in terms of the items that are up for a public hearing. After that report, we'll then swear in those individuals that wish to speak to the committee in reference to the conditional use request, ask that they be sworn in from a member of our law department, after which we will then receive testimony on those particular conditional use and or it's a public comments. And especially today, we do have the capital investment budget. After that, we'll close the public hearing. And then what we'll do is we will then ask the committee for questions and then the council members for questions. We will repeat that in essence this evening at 7 o'clock. The only real difference is that the committee will make a recommendation to all of council in terms of either passing, taking time, or turning down the request. So those are the procedures that we follow for public hearings. And with that, we will begin with the first public hearing that's up today, which is a resolution adopting the 2022 Capital Investment and Community Development Program, legally referred to as a capital investment budget. And I believe Ms. Tomic is here for this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chair, committee members. We welcome the opportunity to present to you the City Administration's annual capital investment and community program and for City Council consideration. The budget specifies the types, locations, costs, and the general descriptions of the capital investments proposed for this upcoming year. The capital investment and community development program includes items such as street and sidewalk improvements, improvements to parks, improvements to community centers, finalizing the designs for the reservoir and Perkins Pool, along with the bathhouses, the purchase of vehicles for police, fire, and public services, the purchase of one engine truck and the purchase of one ladder truck, debt service on previously financed capital projects, water and sewer systems upgrades. The objectives of the capital investment program are to one, construct or rehabilitate facilities vital to Akron residents, encourage private investment, thereby increasing the city's tax base, leveraging federal, state, and private funds whenever possible to assist us in the development of these projects, and to provide capital improvements in support of long-term growth consistent with the City of Akron's land use and development guide plan. The proposed 2022 capital budget is approximately $353 million. Funding sources include approximately $1 million in local government funds, $2.9 million in regional resources, $166 million from the state of Ohio, $73.3 million from the federal government, and $10.8 million from private sources. OID and city staff will conduct their first meeting this afternoon at 4 o'clock for council members. The budget review will focus on a portion of the capital budget. Today's focus will look at transportation, parks and recreation, public facilities, housing and community services, economic development, and miscellaneous. Then on Monday, January 24th, we will conduct our second meeting, and that will focus on water and sewer capital needs. So final passage of the capital budget by city charter is required by February 14th, 2022. And with that, I open it up in any questions and comments you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tomic, for that report. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. We'll open up the public hearing. Sarah, did anyone wish to testify before the committee?
We did not have anyone sign up for either public hearing today.
Okay, well, we will officially open up the public hearing. regardless. And I ask if there's anyone wishing to speak in favor, anyone wishing to speak in favor, anyone wishing to speak against, anyone wishing to speak against. Unfortunately, no one has signed up. So we will close the public hearing portion and open up to committee members in terms of if there's any questions or comments. We have heard, though, that we will be getting this evening or this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the capital budget review process, in which we will be reviewing every line item individually and receiving a report from the affected departments in reference to that. I see any committee members with any questions? Okay, seeing none, I see Mr. Malik's hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Certainly looking forward to the discussion this afternoon, but I did have a couple of general questions, so figured now might be appropriate to ask of Ms. Tomek. The proposed budget looks like it's 353 million, and the 2021 budget was 383 million, and it seems like the particular change is a significant less money from the state, while there was a much higher number from the federal government. What kind of explains that difference from year to year?
So I'll start off with the federal government. We are budgeting a little bit of the ARPA funds in 2022. So that will account for the increase in the federal. And for the state revenue, there is a significant decrease in projects that are related to the Water Pollution Control Fund and to the Water Supply Revolving Loan Fund account. So those two funding categories are attributed to the decrease. And if you'd like, I can dig a little bit deeper and provide you with additional information as to which specific projects that's related to.
Sure, that would be fine. I'm never going to
Okay.
turn on more information, Ms. Domick. But that is helpful clarification, and that makes sense with how large the, those OPWC things are often, big ticket items. Okay, and then the other point I just wanted to make was, with regard to the public hearing, obviously we're going to have a discussion this afternoon and then also a discussion on the 24th that folks can view on YouTube, but definitely think that we want to make sure that we have an opportunity for folks to weigh in. And so if we, are able to perhaps schedule another public hearing or think about, how we advertise and get the word out, just so we do have opportunity for folks to sign up and weigh in, I think we should definitely consider that, since, we do have about a month before this needs to be finalized and passed. I hope we can kind of think through the best way to get some of those citizen voices to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments, Mr. Malik. Linda Mobian.
So jealous, envious.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that by charter, 27% is supposed to come from our general operating budget. Do we have that? Can you show how that is figured out? And I know with the ARPA dollars, we will also separate those out as well. Am I correct, Ms. Tomek?
I can look at our income tax, what our projected income tax collections are, and get that number for you.
It's supposed to be 27% of the budget.
Of 27% of income tax projected.
Right. And the ARPA dollars, those are separated out as well.
Yes.
We did separate ARPA funds within the context of this budget.
Ms. Moby, it's on page 3, and it's displayed there as local award is 38,629,651.
Okay.
That's from the feds, and then the state award is 5 million flat. That'll be arrive on page 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And Ms. Tomek, if we could also, take a little bit of time to review these numbers at the first few pages there.
Absolutely.
Comments in reference to that as well. It should be helpful.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for your questions. Anyone else with questions or comments? Of course, ask that we bring those forward at 4 o'clock today as well, and try to get as much input as we can from the public. That's good. With that, we'll now move on to the second item that's up for public hearing. And that second item is ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct an oversized garage at 1899 Faye Road. Mr. Antonucci, I believe you're here for this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Randy Baker is seeking approval to construct an accessory structure in the rear yard of his residence. The proposed garage measures 28 feet in width, 48 feet in length for 1,344 square feet of area. The proposed one-story garage would be situated 3 feet from the east property line. The garage would be clad in vinyl siding to match the dwelling. The 312 pitched roof would be metal. This neighborhood is characterized by large homes on deep lots. The petitioner stated that the garage would enable them to maintain a clear and free driveway, only to be used for the personal storage of vehicles, trailers, and yard equipment. The proposed garage is the solution to provide personal storage and will add value to this large 35,600 square foot lot and the neighborhood without imposing on surrounding neighbors. The Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. At this time, we'll ask if there's anyone here wishing to speak in reference to this particular conditional use. They must be sworn in from a member of our law department. Is there someone here from our law department? I assume there is.
Yes.
I see you there, Rebecca Advent. Very good. Is there someone here wishing to testify before the committee? Anyone sign up? Ms. Biviano?
Mr. Chair, no, we did not have anyone sign up for this one.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for reporting in, Ms. Advent. Very good. We will, though, officially open up the public hearing. If there's any comments or questions, open up the public hearing. Anyone in favor? Anyone in favor? Anyone against? Anyone against? Okay, hearing no one, the public hearing portion is now closed, and we'll open up for questions from the committee members, should there be any questions in reference to the Faye Road proposal for an oversized garage. Any questions or comments from council members either? Any council members have any questions or comments? Okay, not seeing any. Of course, we'll repeat this process this evening at 7. We'll now move on to the balance of the agenda, of which I'm going to request time, short of any questions or concerns, and we'll move into the new list of legislation, of which the first item is a ordinance authorizing the purchase of various interests in real property located on or around Goodyear Boulevard to facilitate the completion of the Goodyear Bridge replacement project. Someone here wishing to speak on this item?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Chris Loto and members of committee.
Yes, sir.
We've talked about this Goodyear Bridge replacement before. The Goodyear Bridge down close to the library, just past the library at Pondview was constructed in 1964. We put an application in with ODOT. We received $2 million of bridge funds as a grant to replace this bridge. Well, in the process of this, we are going to impede the 4 corners of Pondview and Goodyear. So we are required to retain a temporary easement while we do construction. So after the sidewalks are replaced, obviously we'll be on private property anywhere from a couple feet up till 10 feet in some cases on the corner. Everything will be restored the way we found it or better. And then once the project is done, this temporary easement goes away and the owners retain ownership as they did previously. So 3 of the 4, we're going to pay $300 for this temporary easement. The 4th is IRG, and they are not requesting payment for this temporary easement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that report. Any questions or comments from any committee members on this?
And consent's fine, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Little. It just seems as though the legislation kind of reads just various interests. I don't really see where there's but I'm sure there is, and the agreements will reflect it, but that these are temporary. I'm sure they are though, but
Yes,
They are.
It just
They're
says purchase
temporary.
of interest in real property. Oh, including a temporary, okay, I got it under section 1. Thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Connor?
I just want to say we're excited about the new bridge replacement. Thank Chris Little and the service department for all their work. Special shout out to Mike Teodecki, who's worked with us and presented this information at a recent ward meeting. And thanks to IRG for not charging us. We're looking forward to the new bridge.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? We had heard that the consent agenda is okay on this. Is there a motion for consent?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Very good. The second item is approving the transfer of city-owned property pursuant to the city's mow to own program in order to facilitate the productive reuse of the property and to reduce the cost to the city and taxpayers by maintaining these lots.
Yes, hi, Councilman. I can speak to this. As you said, this is 3 properties, 3 parcels that were included in the city's mow to own project, and they've been being mowed for the year, and we are now at the time to transfer those properties.
Thank you, Mr. Volman. Is there questions or comments from any committee members and or council members? Is consent okay on this, Sean?
Consent would be fine.
Okay, very good. Is there a recommendation for consent?
Motion for consent.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it. 3 is approving the project petition for special assessments for special energy improvement projects related to the acquisition, construction, installation, improvement of certain public improvements in the city of Akron, Ohio at 161 South High Street in cooperation with the Akron Summit County Energy Special Improvement District Incorporated, approving the necessity of the project, determining to proceed with the project, levying special assessments for the purpose of paying the cost of that project, and approving a cooperative agreement with special assessments related to that project. Have an all
Yes.
scale.
I can take that one as well. Chairman Fusco, don't you love the lawyers writing those headings? I used to be to blame for those, but I'm not anymore, I don't think. Anyway, when we came to you about a month ago, I believe it was about a month ago, with the Ocasek project, the council approved going forward with the renovation of the Ocasek building. We explained at that time, one of the pieces of the financing for the project is the PACE assessment bonds, as we call them. We've done these in the past with the housing being done up at Goodrich, the old Goodrich facility, and then also the PNC building did PACE financing a number of years ago. It's a program that the state allows for green, more efficient infrastructure, and it is bonds that will be issued by the DFA and paid back with a voluntary assessment on the property. That is the petition that was mentioned, and those assessment funds would then go towards paying down the bonds for the project. As with the other times we have done this, is the first piece of legislation will be coming at you within a month, ideally with the second piece. This first piece sets a maximum amount so that the underwriters and the finance people are eligible to go to the market and price the bonds. We will then come back in a month, sometime in February, ideally early February, with the final number of the assessment that will go towards, or the final number of the bonds that will be paid by the assessments. And this is a not to exceed maximum amount at this point.
This also includes, though, the agreement for the special assessments, right?
Yes. This approves the petition, and then we enter into an agreement with DFA, where we basically take those assessments that we collect and then send them to the DFA to pay the bonds.
Yeah, so this isn't a development agreement per se. This is the agreement in reference to this, the bond in the Special energy
Right.
improvements.
Yeah, so we did the development last month.
Okay.
Council approved the development.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay, what's the timing on this?
Consent is fine.
Mhm. Okay. There's a lot of moving parts. Questions or comments from any committee members at this time? Any council members? I see Mr. Malik's hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to mention for the record that since I recused myself from the development ordinance due to a potential conflict with a former employer, that I imagine I would also do the same for this one since it's part of the same transaction. And I guess ostensibly the same thing in February. So just want to note that for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Malik. Very good. Thanks for that. Any further questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. There is quite a bit of information that came with this. I am not adverse to a consent agenda, just knowing that everybody, I want to make sure that everyone's comfortable with this. There's quite a few sections to go over, but we can always take it off the consent agenda if there is something that is troublesome, or we can amend it at our next meeting. So with that, if the desire of the committee is for consent agenda, we'll entertain that this time.
Motion for consent agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. All those in favor of consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'd also encourage my colleagues on the committee as well as council to make sure that you're intimately familiar with this and that we're comfortable with voting on this 2 weeks from today. Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Volman. Further questions or comments? If none, we are done with our business in terms of the planning committee today. And we'll pass it over to Sarah Viviano. I know she's on here somewhere.
I'm here.
There she is. Okay, thanks.
Our next committee of the day will be the Public Safety Committee, and that will begin at 2:15. Those committee members are Kamer, Mosley, Lombardo, Malik, and McKittrick. Again, that will begin at 2:15. So we will end our live stream and be back then. Thank you.
Can I do something first? Assuming all members are present, and I don't know if we still have everyone on board or not. I don't believe we approved the minutes of the previously held meeting, Ms. Viviano.
You did not.
Is everyone still here?
We do not have Councilwoman Baylor.
Okay. All right. Very good. We'll have to do that another time. Thank you.